my talk today by visiting the principles of karma that so determine the way we lead our lives, and the worlds, the environments, the communities and families within which we live. As Buddhists, we all acknowledge that the world we inhabit is of our creation. Our experiences of happiness and suffering are of our making. The physical environments we find ourselves in are the results of our past actions. There is nothing mysterious about this. It is something so fundamental to our belief system that we consider karma to be a natural law and name it the law of cause and effect. As a result of past generosity, we are wealthy. As a result of past ethical behavior, we are attractive and healthy. As a result of patience, tolerant restraint from anger, we are peaceful and content. The causes that have brought about our present state of being are not limited to this life. We know that karma is cumulative and that to collect the karmic momentum, to be able to actually identify our accomplishments, takes many lifetimes of practice. Today's acts of generosity are not likely to lead to great wealth in a mere lifetime or even 2 or 3. I hope I may assume that we do all deeply believe that our virtuous efforts will eventually lead to positive results, and that being born as human beings with the extraordinary ability to think, to reason, to work to improve ourselves is the result of our own concerted, positive, or virtuous efforts at making use of our ability to think, to reason, to work at improving ourselves over past lives. It should be an inspiration to us to acknowledge that this human opportunity that we now possess is not causeless. It is the result of our own efforts exerted in the past. Our past efforts to benefit others have naturally led us to possess the tendency or innate desire to do so in this life. The attitude of concern, of empathy, of sympathy and love for others that we presently possess has grown out of our own past compassionate attitudes, cultivated and practiced over many, many lifetimes. And so, as our behavior becomes more selfless and more concerned with satisfying the needs of others, these are the behavioral patterns that will be born with us in the future. And such behavioral tendencies will naturally lead us to deepen our efforts, intensifying our commitment to benefiting others. If we add to this equation the effects of our working to diminish the poisonous sense of self that keeps us stuck within samsara, and that causes an instinctual sense of self-cherishing, we will be providing a major boost or turbocharge to the process of what we may call virtuous rebirth. In our attempt to devote ourselves to benefiting others, our greatest obstacle remains our sense of self. However, as we begin the process of searching for an independent and objectively identifiable me at the core of our being, encompassing the transient aggregates that make up our sense of me, we're dissolving the impure or afflicted basis for the continuum of that sense of self. Of course, I'm simplifying things here. However, I hope we agree on the notion that as we work moment by moment at cultivating a purer, more loving and compassionate intention to benefit others, and as we work at recognizing our lack of individual, substantial, independent existence, the continuum that approaches death and then journeys to a future life will possess qualities that are the result of these previous virtuous efforts. And as our contemplation of selflessness begins to lead towards a more profound experience of the unfindability of any self-identity, and when this experience is motivated or colored by a compassionate, determined to benefit others, the process of rebirth will naturally be propelled by this combination of selfless wisdom and compassionate love. At this point, one is no longer motivated by selfishness instigated by a sense of ego, but instead love for others, further sustained by the experience of selflessness, becomes the basis for one's continuation. Rebirth is itself motivated by the virtuous wish to benefit others, and the situation, circumstances, and environment of rebirth will naturally be most fitting. Whether we are propelled by our self-cherishing nature and the karmic baggage we have accumulated over infinite past lives, or whether we have overcome any sense of self at the core of our evolving continuum of moments of being, it is clear that the efforts we make in this life, in this moment, determine our future. The degree to which we devote ourselves to benefiting others and the world around us, and the extent to which we come to recognize our momentary nature, free of any independently existent core self, will determine the quality of our future life. As we view the selfless effort to benefit all of humanity and to refrain from harming any sentient being exhibited by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, we can draw inspiration that we too can make a contribution towards the improvement of the happiness of others. Each moment of effort that we engage in will inspire the next, and over months, years, and decades, we can be confident that at the time of our death, the continuum of our consciousness will have been set in a positive direction, and that we will eventually be motivated by the habits we instilled in ourselves in this life. And we can pray that we may return to life as a human being in order to continue our practice of benefiting others and of diminishing our self-grasping and self-cherishing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon to all. Mahasangha Nayaka. My sincere salutation to all the Mahasanghas, Khenpos, Khenpoches, Rinpoches, or Lamas, and all the Sanghas. Sangye Chedang Choki Chonam Jancho Bat Dagi Chaps Dagi Jinsu Gebe Sunam Dola Penche Sangye Dobar. I felt like starting with these altruistic nature prayers to talk about this wonderful topic, Bodhisattva, additional with the rebirth. On this auspicious forum of Future Life International Symposium organized by the Foundation of Pali University of Sri Lanka and Central International Buddhist Confederation of India. I also thank the organizer for the invitation. I really feel overwhelmed and I don't need that. Yeah, this mic is okay.
Come closer more.
Yeah, hello. Not.
Okay.
I really feel overwhelmed, honored to be the part of this conference. From the sutra, it says that great bodhisattvas are without attachment to their own lives, abide in the path of complete dedications to welfare of these ancient beings. This is the true nature of Bodhisattva, who are fully committed to the benefit of sentient beings. Even it is, I will try to narrate in the Tibetan, Dole, Jansu Sempa, Sempa Chempo, Namki Rangi Tsela Machakbora, Semjingi Dela, Rapto Shobe, Lamlani, Dini Semjingi Dela, Mombor Zubra, Nelu Yins. So these are the few statements from the sutra. Even it is another sutra, it says, Bodhisattvas are the person who fully dedicate themselves for the welfare of sentient beings by generating bodhicitta. Even in aspiration prayers, it says, until every single sentient being is liberated from samsara, I will not attain enlightenment. There's another verse, praises, Shantideva said in Bodhicharya Avatara, as long as the space endures, as long as the sentient being remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of world. These words from Bddhist Sutta clearly shows the importance of bodhisattvas, and it also defines the importance and quality of bodhicitta, the altruistic mind, for the liberation of sentient beings. On this very auspicious topic of bodhicitta and bodhisattvas, we cannot forget the great living bodhisattva, His Holiness Dalai Lama. Recently, Tibetan people celebrated the 90th birth anniversary of His Holiness 14th Dalai Lama Tenzin Gyatso at Dharamsala. And the whole world participated and joined the celebration. Even the International Buddhist Confederation to organize a glorious 90-year celebration of His Holiness 14th Dalai Lama's birthday at Ashoka Hotel, Delhi, inviting international guest speakers and participants from all over the world. The birth anniversary was blessed and recognized as a historic event of the milestones. We are very fortunate to see and know the living bodhisattva of our time. Many of us have been witness the compassionate deeds of legendary human form bodhisattva of this century. So I do not need to elaborate more about the deeds and quality of bodhisattva, what the bodhisattva means. Dalai Lama has been deliberately, with his compassion, has shown the world. Whether it is a Pali tradition or Sanskrit tradition, the fact is that our living the bodhisattva is still there in the world, benefiting, spreading the Buddha Dharma to the world. There are many things to talk, but I think most of the scholars has been spoken all about the things. I will try to more emphasize on the what called the qualities of all the different approaches of the bodhisattvas, bodhicitta. The bodhisattva is capable of reaching nirvana or enlightenment and delays realizing the enlightenment because of compassion of beings who are suffering from samsara, in samsara. He chooses to stay in samsara of birth and death and benefit sentient being. Bodhisattva is being who dedicate themselves to the altruistic goal of attaining ultimate state of enlightenment, striving to liberate all the sentient beings from samsara, who has unwavering commitment to achieve the Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. I'll also brief three different altruistic approaches of bodhisattva of liberating sentient being from samsara or a suffering. The first type of motivation or altruistic mind is called the king-like motivation. In this type of motivation, one should first get enlightened and then lead others to enlightenment. For example, one becomes a king, then it becomes easier for one to help the subject. Second type of motivation is called boatman-like motivation. In this type of motivation, one thinks of getting enlightenment together with all the sentient beings. For example, if the one is boatman, the passenger in the boat will reach the same destination together with the boatman. The third type of motivation is like a shepherd-like motivation. In this type of motivation, one makes sure that all the sentient beings are enlightened before oneself, like a shepherd who ensures that all the sheep are safe ahead of one and then thinks of one's own safety. Depending on the type of motivation cited above, the Bodhisattva makes very strong aspirations to reincarnate to perform his duties of liberating sentient beings. Bodhisattva never hesitates to reincarnate or to enlighten the beings from suffering. The Bodhisattva progressed to the 10 bhumis of spiritual development on the path of Buddhahood. The 10 bhumis describes the stages of Bodhisattvas attaining knowledge of all the phenomena and cultivating the great bodhicitta. Bodhisattva practiced 6 perfections also, the paramitas, 6 paramitas to cultivate their path. As you know that 6 perfections are generosity, morality, patience, efforts, meditations and wisdom. Even in sutras, there are very common bodhisattvas, as you know, are Maitreya Buddha, Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, Samantabhadra. Likewise, there are many great Nalanda Pandits who had been manifested and been proven by generating the great compassion and love of bodhicitta. Bodhisattva like Dharmakara, who also became a Buddha Amitabha, which is mentioned in the Kanjur, the words of Buddha. The topic rebirth is a very interesting to discuss, and it is all know that it's a foundation of the Buddhist belief. It's very much related to the karma and consciousness.
2 minutes.
Rebirth.
2 minutes.
Meanings, okay, I'll just go directly to the there's a sutra saying that as Buddhists believe in the continuity of consciousness and denying the concept of eternal soul. Also another statement, it says, all sentient beings due to the power and the reason of karma reborn in a cyclic existence. Like Dasa Bhumi Sutra also said, due to the power and the cause of karma, beings are born in samsara. Even it is stated in Abhidharma Kosha, in the 6th realm of samsara, the cycle of birth and rebirth resolves. So which means that rebirth had been, as the great scholar from one of the scholars said, that there is a continuum conscious will take rebirth. As you know that rebirth is also the cause, is ignorance, which been already taken and spoken of the 12 links of Tibetan origination by the 2 great scholars. I don't want to go to that thing again, but definitely I think I would like to talk of reincarnations on the Tibetan system, which is called a Tuku system. So I think many people know that in reincarnation there's also a Tuku system in Tibetan, where the first Karmapa had been after that, the second Karmapa, in I think 13th century, it was introduced as a Tuku system. That is still going on, where you can find the great renowned masters who have been reincarnated, who are coming in the emanation of the earlier great gurus to give the enduring the teachings and being the custodians of their own religion, own traditions, own beliefs. In one way, it's very interesting that the belief system that helps to transcend the teachings of Buddha in a different form and different level. In other way, when this system has not been utilized properly, there's also a danger of declining the Dharma. But definitely by seeing the great Bodhisattva like Dalai Lama, we still feel that importance of the Tuku is very important if such great gurus exist even in future.
Honorable Sir, you can conclude now.
That, okay, the rebirth of the human, then everybody knows that human qualities and that there are also the importance of human rebirth, the precious human rebirth, which we talk of the 8 freedoms and 10 endowments. These are the very important things which have been said in our text. The most important things is even in a Pali system and Sanskrit system, the continuity of the conscious, that has to be very researched and analyzed, because I just remember one of the scholars say that once the conscious is stop. Immediately another conscious is a continuity. Or sometimes he also said it is what is called same consciousness. So it's a debatable things in future where we can talk more on that conscious, whether the Sanskrit tradition and Pali tradition, both are the traditions of the Buddha. So we do not have to the proof that this is right or that wrong, but we should also put this discussion on the table with the scholars so that we can have a better research and a better future and understanding of the rebirth, because the rebirth seems to be very important in the Buddhism. Thank you very much.